Hello, YouTube. You didn't think I forgot about you, did you? No. No. As a matter of fact, I never forget. As a matter of fact, that's what makes this episode so special, because it's not even the one I originally wanted to do. Hi, I'm Church with Church versus the World, and tonight... I wanted my comeback episode to be something special. So, I'm revisiting my 2020 resolutions. I'm going to try to do something a bit more upbeat for my return episode to the YouTube platform. I'm already working on my next video. It's going to be a little controversial, it's going to piss some people off, but oh well, that's what I'm good at. Alright, well, tonight, I hope to leave y'all a bit more optimistic. What are you doing? Not yet. Not yet. Sorry about that, technical difficulties, but now here I am. Back at you. Anyway, so, the year 2020, I came at it strong. I had a lot of aspirations and hopes for my channel and the things that I wanted to do. And before I go back into controversial mode and start pissing in people's Cheerios, I'm going to talk a little bit about my hopes and dreams for what I'm doing, because let's face it, if you're in the YouTube game or if you're in the podcasting game and it's something you want to do for the long haul, if it's something you want to start putting more effort into, then you got to be trying to find ways to get paid. Like, I mean, I don't do this for the money, obviously, because where is the money? Anyway, but I'm in the process of trying to grow not just my channel, but my brand. Like, I've made these fancy t-shirts. I made these fancy stickers. And, oh, that fell. Hold on. Anyway, I'm also starting 2 different podcasts. One is going to be a weekly podcast talking about current events and things going on in the world, and y'all know me, I'll open my big mouth and piss all in people's Cheerios, because it's what I do. But my views and opinions are not connected to my co-host's opinions. As a matter of fact, that's why I got him, is because I'm hoping that our opinions might be somewhat aligned, but at the same point, different enough to have cordial discussions about topics like the whole, what you call it, for one, politics. For 2, like the Chaz, and for 3, you know, I mean, just all this stuff going on in the world that needs to be covered, that people are going to talk about. Like, I'm hoping our opinions are different enough to where if we do wind up on those topics, it'll be an interesting discussion. He'll give me a fresh perspective to look things at. But one of the things about the current events show that is going to be different is I don't just want to focus on the negative anymore. I want to focus on the good things that should be talked about. Like, for one, you have SpaceX doing a successful space launch. That's probably going to be one of our first topics, because it is in the back of my head. I want to talk about it. Like, it's like the first step to humans going to space. It is the first step to the next stage in our economy. Like, I mean, economic growth. I mean, there's going to be more jobs once we venture into space and outside this little blue marble of ours than you can shake a stick at. Like, it's going to make jobs. Like, it's going to make wealth. I mean, it's going to be great for the world and people as a whole, I believe. If only we could come together and stop with all the dumb shit and fighting amongst each other. But, well, and then my second podcast is going to be with a different co-host, and it's probably only going to be every other week or every month as soon as all the details are ironed out, and it is going to be talking about the strange and unusual. Like, I did my little teaser for it, because I was going to do it by myself and just kind of do like a creepy, like old school radio, host vibe, and we still might do that, but I don't know. I'm in the process of reevaluating my brand, and I'm still going to be doing my Facebook Live videos, and those are probably not going to change. It's just angry rants of me bitching. And honestly, that's probably what some of my just random YouTube videos that are just me are probably going to be. Like, they might merge and turn into one and the same. I'm not sure. Like, but how can you look at society and the way things are these days and not get a little pissed off? I mean, they censored Gone with the Wind. I had to go buy this because I've never seen it. It's a classic. It is art. And pretty soon, like, I think if you look on Amazon, it's like $100-something. Like, it's ridiculous. People are taking this shit too far. Like, an old school Aunt Jemima bottle is going to be like $2,000. I mean, it's ridiculous because everything is supposedly racist now. Why? Why did y'all have to rehash old shit? Like, we've already been through the, what do they call it? The civil rights movement. And guess what? Everything's fair now. Well, it was. It was until Obama got elected, and then he brought racism back into, like, it was one of them, taboo, passe, like, in the dark, deep corner things, that no one talked about because no one really cared about racism anymore. It didn't matter. It didn't affect people in their day-to-day. And then you had dumbass Obama like, oh no, racism is a big idea. It's a big deal. No, it's really not. It's really not. The things people are chalking it up to, I've thought long and hard about this. The things people are chalking racism up to are just about the way we present ourselves as people, probably the situations we're in. Like, I remember one time I was unjustifiably spoken to by the police, and it was because I was, for one, it was the way I presented myself. I had these, ridiculously baggy pants on, which I still love and still have to this day, and I still wear them. I don't give a fuck. I ain't got nothing to hide. They ain't gonna find nothing on me. They ain't gonna, even if the cops do harass me, guess what? They ain't gonna find nothing. I didn't do nothing wrong. But we were, at 3 a.m, we were trying to fish one of my coworkers' keys out of her car because she locked them in there. It looked suspicious. A bunch of hoodlum looking motherfuckers, because we were all in baggy ass jeans. Hell, we all probably were wearing bandanas, because usually my style, if you go back and look at my old videos on my old YouTube and some of my ones from earlier in this YouTube, I still wear bandanas all the time. But I mean, you gotta look at it. Like, we were 3 guys in baggy ass clothes with bandanas at 3 a.m. trying to fish keys out of a car. That looks a little fucked up. So, with that said, a lot of things being contributed to racism these days is stuff like that, I believe. And I also believe wholeheartedly that a lot of it It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic. If you're doing some of these things, you're gonna get messed with. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's just all there is to it, guys. I mean, America really needs to wake up, because I see, here I go on one of these rants again, but it's one of the things that I feel passionate about enough to where I feel like it needs to be talked about. I mean, us as a whole, as a society, as people, we really need to learn to stop being so divisive, and we need to come together. It's not just the police's fault, because they're paid and it's their job to look into strange and unusual goings on, especially at 3 in the morning when all this shit goes down. Hell, I get harassed quite often because in my neighborhood, I used to just get aggravated and take walks at 2 in the morning. How's that look? I mean, random dude walking. A lot of the times I'd have a backpack, because I have a backpack everywhere I go. 2 in the morning, some dude walking the streets. I mean, it looks bad. And I know that. But I spent most of my life working overnights. But a cop can't always be like, he could be an overnight worker on his day off. And not every cop has the foresight or the luxury of thinking that way. Because if he looks at every little person and says they could be an overnight worker just out for a stroll, the next night, whenever somebody's house gets broke into or their car gets broke into, he could have stopped that. I just think people need to look at things from other perspectives. Like, I watched this video earlier on TikTok, and everybody was all up in arms because this lady got pretty much rock bottomed by a cop because she ran up on an active scene. Active, like they were in the middle of doing their job, and she ran at them with her fist up, and everybody's like, oh my god, that was so excessive. No, she could have had a knife in that fist. She ran up to an open crime scene and got the shit knocked out of her. They made sure she was alright. They made sure she was restrained. But that's just what it was. I mean, and it had nothing to do with race, because it was a white chick. And I just wish people would stop making everything about race, because it's not. It's about the situations. It's about like that fella that got shot, that was supposedly a father of 4 and didn't do nothing. He was just chilling at the Wendy's. No, guys, he had a shitload of priors. Some of them had to do with children, like violence, family violence towards kids, like false imprisonment, like all kinds of crazy, weird charges. And he was drunk, passed out, not at the Wendy's, not parked, but in the drive-thru, in the drive-thru. Like, he was in the drive-thru getting a McChicken or whatever it is you get at Wendy's. That's the Frosties with the French fries, doing whatever, getting his drunk food on, and nodded off. And they eventually had to call the police. It took 2 cops to wake his drunk ass up. And at first, everything was going fine. You can go find the video. At first, everybody was being cordial. Everybody was being cool. And then this guy decides to beat the shit out of both these cops whenever he fails a breathalyzer test. I'm pretty sure all of his priors came back, and they were like, ooh, we just need to lock this guy, probably take him to the drunk tank for the night so he don't go home and act a damn fool. They were trying to be good cops. And you don't just get drunk in public and get to drive off. That's not how it works. That's not how society works. That's not how it's worked before, and it's not going to start working that way. If it does, oh my God, we're in for a rude awakening. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And he beat the shit out of these two cops, dropped one on his head, stole the other's taser, and took off running. As the other cop was gathering his, like, oh wow, I just got dropped on my head. As he was gathering his thoughts, the only thing he saw was this dude doing this. It could have been one of these. That cop didn't know. All he saw was... So yeah, he defended him and his partner's life. He shot the man. And honestly, they don't teach you to aim for the leg. And they shouldn't. Because he should have set his drunk ass down and just went to jail. But he didn't. And now he's dead. It's a tragedy. It's awful. It is truly awful. I do not like it when someone's life is lost. I did not like it when George Floyd's life was lost. That was a horrible tragedy that could have totally been averted. That cop was a scumbag. Like, that cop deserves to be someone's bitch every night in the rest of the penitentiary till the day he dies. But George Floyd was also not a very good law-abiding citizen. Exhibit A. Yes, he robbed a pregnant woman at gunpoint, pistol whipped her, stuck the gun to her gut, and said, "You want me to kill your baby?" I mean, but he's worth all of these riots, and he's worth all this nonsense? No, he's not. Has nothing to do with race, and has everything to do with him being a bad person. But I digress. And maybe he could have reformed. Maybe he could have been doing good for himself. But nonetheless, he had a record. And he was completely high. If you go watch that video, like all of it, not just the clips that they spoon feed you, I mean, yeah, he should have. See, everything about that video was wrong. But I don't know. The world's a mess. But that's not why I'm here tonight. I'm here tonight to talk about getting back on track. 2020, you're not going to win. I'm not going to stay locked up in my house. I'm not going to accept a new normal. It's not what it's going to be. I'm going to continue on. So I'm starting back up my YouTube channel. I'm starting 2 additional podcasts. I've got these neat shirts that y'all can go pick up from my Teespring store, which I will post down below. And I just got a new one. I got a 1776 t-shirt. Please go pick it up. It is awesome. I love it, and I'll be sporting one pretty soon in one of my next upcoming videos. And I even got stickers. I'm so proud of that. That is awesome. Anyway, I hope to see y'all again, and next time, be sure to like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you soon. We all know why you really tuned in. Little Wade. How you doing, buddy? She didn't tell you? We're back.